Gothletts, and welcome to this week's Trust Me, I'm a Goth. It's me, Sarah, here, and I am back after having a week off. If you haven't seen our social media pages, you will know I had a back injury. It's still a bit sore, but I was prescribed medication that didn't agree with me, and I was just a massive liability. Although it probably would have made for a very entertaining Trust Me, I wasn't prepared to do that and put people through my non-filtered approach. In case you may think I'm not filtered when I do this, I am. So we're back, just me on my own this week. We will get straight into it. So, should I go to Greece after my parents told me no? Hi everyone, I, female 19, have been planning a trip to go see my study abroad friend in May, who has been living in Greece since September. Me and one other girl were going to fly in and meet her, and I stay for a week. For reference, I live in Los Angeles. I have immigrant parents, and I know it would be tricky to convince them, but they said no right away after concluding it was too dangerous. My friend has been living there for many months now and travels to a different part of Europe every weekend, so she kind of knows the ropes and was going to show us around Mykonos Island, if I pronounced that right. Since I am an adult and was going to pay all of the expenses myself anyways, did I? Has anyone ever pushed boundaries with their strict parents and had a better outcome? They don't track me to Life 360 anymore because I refused to once I turned 18. Thanks so much all. Before we get into it, there is an edit. They pay for my car and for me to live in their house and food. I'm responsible for paying all university costs. So, I think it's a case of putting their fears aside. I had Crotch Goblin who wanted to go very close to an unstable part of Israel to see a very close friend when he was 16. Now, I did say no. Said when he's 18, because I'm in the UK, he can do what he wants. But I also understand that in America, most legal age is for things is 21, with some states having 18, and I don't know how that goes for parental responsibility, etc. I think it'd be an absolutely fantastic opportunity for you with your friend, and you're not going alone, you're going with another friend. I think you need to try and put perspective in it, but you also need to have respect for your parents. In the end, you are basically living rent-free in their home. Although you are obviously responsible for paying all university costs. Now, I can't put myself in your parents' situation. My eldest Crotch Goblin at home is 15. And my other Crotch Goblins, one lives with their father, one lives with their partner, and two of them, I've got a few, are at university. One kind of stays between home and his girlfriend, and the other one kind of stays with their older sibling, and have done since they were 18. So all mine, as soon as they got that independence, they went and got it, and I support them with that. Don't financially support them, but actually, to be fair, they do call me up and ask for money. But I think it is going to be tricky, and it all depends on what legal authority they have over you. If you're in a state where it is 18, you're an adult in your own right to do what you want. But if you're in a state where it is 21, then they do have that legal obligation to keep you safe and protect you. It's very tricky. I can't say yes or no to this. I think you need to have just a conversation with your parents and see where you can go. And as you put, you are an adult and you're going to pay for everything yourself. But I just think you need to relay that fear and maybe say, look, I'll call you twice a day at set times, FaceTime you, which is better, you know. But ultimately, I think it'd be a fantastic opportunity for you, but you need to work that out with your parents. Right, so the next one, getting a bit more adult. My mum saw porn on my phone. Okay, so I, 23 male, was doing some insurance shit on my phone, and my mum took my phone and was looking at all my stuff on the insurance app. Then, in a blink of an eye, she went to Safari and decided to open a new tab instead of just searching on the main page. And lo and behold, a pop-up ad for porn. I didn't know you got pop-up ads on Safari on the phone, but okay, let's carry on. My stomach sank, and I'm pretty sure it was like a she-mail or one of those like hentai ads where the girls have penis. So, I'm not one to judge, but I don't watch that kind of porn, and I'm now pretty sure my mum thinks I'm gay. Can't believe I didn't clear my history, as that porn must have been from like at least last weekend, as I'm not an avid porn watcher. This sucks. Edit. I guess this advice I'm looking for, it should be, I bring it up or just let it be. Right. I don't know what advice you want, really. I have found porn on my crotch goblins phone. Until they're 16, I have their passwords, and the condition is I can do random searches on their phone, basically just to make sure they're staying safe. I tend to just skim through stuff, and if they're hiding it in any of the hidden apps, then I kind of want to know why. But I am a very, well, not very, I'm quite a laid-back parent, so I did once tell one of my goblins that they had extremely low quality porn on their phone, and if they wanted any decent quality, just to ask and I will find them some. I think it kind of scared them not to look at porn anymore. Or the thought that, oh my god, my mum knows what sort of porn I like. I think you just need to just say if these things happen. I watch porn. I'm male. I'm 23. I'm an adult. This isn't the porn I watch, but you know, these things happen. And I have seen hentai, mainly it's tentacles, the one I've seen. Doesn't get me off, I just like anime in general and kind of naively stumbled across it. But you just talk to your mom. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what advice you want from that. She's got to know what's porn. I think one thing, take away from this as you will, and anyone who's listening, porn isn't real unless you've made it yourself. And you keep it private, because distributing your own porn without consent of all involved is illegal and wrong. But yeah, manufactured porn for worldwide distribution isn't real. I know for your mum understands this. And I worked in an industry where I didn't see it on a regular basis, but I dealt with it. So, no, I'm not a porn star. God knows, people would turn it off and pay not to see. Yeah, and so what if your mum thinks you're gay? It could be funny. You know, my birth giver, my son's bi, and my birth giver thought it was appropriate when she found this out to buy my son a t-shirt as a gift for prostate cancer. He was 14. You know, that's the kind of parents that we need to be having words with, because we saw it as extremely funny and ignorant and naive. Because although it is a concern and, you know, it is quite high, it's not just prevalent against gay men, it's prevalent in anyone assigned male at birth. I don't know a lot about it personally, but I do know something like that. And obviously, although we've not been told, it is our Majesty the King. He went in to have work for an enlarged prostate, and they found cancer. They've not said it was prostate cancer. That wasn't relating to it. They just found it cancer is secondary. But a lot of men have prostate issues, not just gay men. Just touching on about it. Yeah, if you don't mind her thinking you're gay, just leave it be. It's not doing anyone any harm. Those things pop. Right, moving on to our next one. I'm falling in love with my boyfriend's catfish account. This title has screamed so many things wrong. Bear with me with this one. Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but please hear me out. A few months ago, I found out that my partner had a burner Instagram account he used actively. I was aware of this account as it wasn't a secret. I assumed he kept it for his old memories and didn't use it to speak to women. Turns out he was having casual conversations with multiple women from his past on there, which almost broke our relationship. I decided to forgive him if he deleted his accounts, and stopped using other accounts. 2 months ago, I noticed a new account with his photo on his following list. This got me suspicious, as the account was made in 2022 and had a very good follow and being followed ratio, but a complete different name. I decided to make my own fake profile and follow him. Turns out this guy is definitely not my boyfriend, as he doesn't even speak a word of English. His whole profile is Russian, and he reposts my boyfriend's photos and stories and photoshops, rather blurrily, women into it. I decided to start talking to him using Google Translate to know what his deal was. However, I got really attached to him. Wow. We went for talking once every week to daily, and he made the effort to try and speak English so he can understand me better. He just seems so sweet and is so flirtatious and gets me going. He can get me flustered from simple texts, which I'm not used to in my relationship. I also feel attracted to him because we use catfishing as my partner. It's really strange, but it's almost as if I'm falling in love with his personality, which with his pretend photos of being my boyfriend. What should I do? I tried to stop talking to him as I also on a fake account, but I miss him when we don't talk and I feel a strange sexual tension between us. Should I end things with my partner and come clean to him? Wow. I thought it was going to turn out to be your boyfriend was, you know, had an account where he was catfish. So, this person isn't who he says he is in the slightest. Warning flags should be flashing everywhere. He is photoshopping pictures. He's using images of your boyfriend. How do you know he is just not faking everything he's saying? And the fact he thinks you're someone else as well. It's I don't agree with having an account faking who you are. My pictures and things I use on my Instagram account. And by the way, my Instagram account is now linked to another project I'm doing. I'm not going to go into that here. I always put when I edit my pictures, because I might edit them because there might be someone in the background, or I might have more favourable lighting. I don't do editing on my face. You can always tell it's not edited. I have a scar. If you can see it, because sometimes I use my fingers to cover it. I have a scar on my forehead from chickenpox. And yeah, if you look at my pictures, it's there. It's one of those things actually I'm not insecure about. I'm insecure about my double chin, so I tend to tilt my head at certain angles and get the lighting right. But no, I don't edit pictures. I don't believe in it. But no, this is all wrong. You need to just delete the account because he's fake. Through and through, he is fake. So so it's obviously you're very attracted to your partner. Oh, excuse me. No, that's not a lie here. You are, and even you saying you're feeling for him physically. Like, if you hear something, that's my phone. I'm just going off, ignore it. You need to stop it. You that. The fact, again, he isn't falling from you. He's falling for who you are pretending to be. And I just hope you haven't exchanged money or anything, because that's normally how these accounts go. Ultimately, he needs reporting, because if he does con women, it's your partner. And people who want to vanity you, narcissists, when you initially meet them and get to know them, they are the most sweetest, you think the most genuinest people you're ever going to meet, and they like you. They mimic and get that attraction to you. You need to run for the hills and get away from him. It's just not right. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. But no, you need to delete it. You need to come clean to your partner. Definitely, because he wants this alternative account out there using his image, because it's not right. So yeah, you need to come clean, and ultimately it goes from there. But I wouldn't end things with your partner, because nothing's going to go anywhere with this guy. This guy might turn out to be an 80-year-old grandma who knows exactly what to say to women, because she's lived a life and she's telling you what she wanted to hear or what she did hear. You do not know who this person is. Okay, said my piece. Let's move on. Right, good. Friend is getting married at 18 years old to a 26-year-old man she has only known for 8 months. Hey, I need advice. My friend, 18 female, is getting married in a week to a man, 26 male, from our church that she has only been dating for 8 months, and I don't feel right about the situation. First, he had a crush on her when she was 15. In fact, he liked every girl in our youth group at church, including myself and my sister. A week before he even asked my friend out, he told my brother that he liked me a lot, even though he knew I had a boyfriend. Second, he has a weird, quotation, a girl that is always talked about, which includes getting engaged at least 6 months into a relationship. and in brackets, which is exactly what happened. I'm just not sure about the situation. It seems very sketchy to me. You're not the only one. Plus, they never have any fight ever and claim it's because they're just more compatible than anyone else. My friend won't listen to my concerns. I don't want her to make a huge mistake. What should I do? Or should I even do anything? Right, well, I'm dismissing age here because I've known people who have been happily married with 20+ year age. Granted, they met later on in life, but for me, as long as they are two consenting adults, I don't take that into consideration. What I do take into consideration is the 8 months and the fact his past behaviour with liking every female in the youth group, and his weird girl, which obviously seems to have done. I'm with you. Something isn't right. It is very sketchy. Just, with that crush and the girls and the girl. Your friend is at an age, as you probably are aware, you know everything. As females, we go through a time where we think we know everything. We're old enough to be adult, we can make up our own decisions, our own minds, and we believe that, when really we do need a bit of advice and guidance. I think the best thing you can do in this situation is be a friend to your friend. Make sure you are there. Make sure you are available if she needs you. Because the chances are, if he's like every girl, and he's done his girl, what's his next girl going to be? And it's going to carry on from there. I mean, what do her parents think? In fact, it's at a church group. I almost feel that parents owe if you say you met someone at church. And this is from what I've seen from America and all the bits I watch. Because I'm not, I'm Christian, so meeting someone at church and doing all that, they're just a person for me. They could have as bad a past as anyone, but quite a lot of people, as I say, I've seen, from what I've watched, heard, witnessed, that they believe the people who go to church are morally a better moral compass than the rest of us. I don't believe that, but I know people do. What he's saying is, yeah, it's sketchy as hell whether he's got that moral compass or not. I mean, it might be worth speaking to your friend's parents because they've got to have the concerns, but then again, if they believe it's a nice church boy, they won't share that concern. You just have to be a friend for her. You have to make sure you are there for if it goes wrong. And if there are signs there of any form of coercion or abuse, so not speaking to the friend as much, him being very controlling, allowing her, certain places, he only allows me out, he picked this for me to wear, I can only do this, or I can only do that. Not, oh, what do you think to this outfit I've got? You need to raise these red flags and concerns with her if you start hearing them. It might be he's just very immature for his age. He's saying all these things and he's absolutely fine. But we don't know until we've walked in that person's shoes. And there can be people that do get along together and never have fights. Was someone I knew many years ago, and they met their partner one day, they moved in the next day and was married as soon as, and 10+ years later they are still very much happily married. So I do believe it can happen fast. Always skeptical, but I do believe it can do. But I do have that issue with your friend being 18, that immaturity. And I got married when I was 18 for the first time. And I've known that person from being 15. You know, he was the love of my life, was being the word there, and I couldn't see no wrong. And granted, he wasn't a lot older than me, he was only a couple of years. You couldn't have told me any different. Granted, my father did tell me different, and in hindsight, I should have listened. But I was 18, I was headstrong, I was an adult, I knew what I was doing. So just be there for your friend. Don't make a big deal out of it. The more you make a big deal out of it, the more she will pull away from you. And that's all I can give on that, I'm afraid. Okay. The next one. AITA, am I the arsehole? For humiliating my daughter by treating her as she has been treating others. My tone isn't going to come off good in this post. But don't worry, dear. My tone never comes off good when I'm writing. Or when I'm speaking for that matter. But hey ho, we'll go into this. I am extremely disappointed in my daughter ever since she has been at college. She commutes to campus. She used to be such a kind person, and now she has this higher and mighty attitude. Anytime someone asks for help, she will either be condescending, tell them it's not her issue, or straight up call them dumb. I have talked to her so many times, and it always results with her telling me she is an adult. One example is my son asked for help with an essay. He was learning MLA formatting, I don't know what that is, and didn't understand it. She saw I was helping him and made comments about him not being the smartest. I shut it down, but damage done. He already has confidence issues with his grades, and she knows that. That resulted in argument. She's taking an art class. It's not going well for her. I complain and she asks for help. I told her everything that her has been saying to other people in the home. I told her everything that her has been saying to... Yeah, I did read that right. She started to get really upset when I made a comment about her not being smart. I finished with telling her, this is how you make others feel when you do this to them. She's refusing to talk to me. My wife is pissed that I humiliated her and is calling me a bitch. Right. First of all, I don't think you're an asshole. I don't think it was a dickish move. I don't think you are one. Because I would have done similar. And that's my opinion. All of this, whatever I'm speaking, is my opinion. Take it or leave it. It's not intended as gospel. Yeah, unfortunately, college can change people. She needs to respect as an adult. And I mean, I don't know what MLA formatting is. So I mean, I honestly say I'm not the smartest, but I'm not dumb either. What I do know, I know. But no, there was no way for her to speak to her brother like that at all, especially knowing that he has issues. The fact he asked for help, you are there to help and guide your children, no matter their age, and sometimes that does mean putting them in their place, because they've got to learn they are going to get that bite back from people. they did that to someone not in the family, get laid at. You don't. And again, so she's doing that. I've got several of my crotch goblins, very artistic in their own way. And I mean, I wouldn't say a bitch, but one of my crotch goblins wasn't the best at one form of art, because art, obviously, you've got sculpture, mixed media, pencil. I can't remember what it was now, it was several years ago. But other aspects of their art was phenomenal. They didn't get the grade they expected. They didn't get the grade I think they would have, they should have deserved. But when it was explained to me, they needed to have a full set of skills to do this. But I did tell that crotch goblin that what they were struggling with, I couldn't help them because it wasn't my forte. I could see where it wasn't right, but I couldn't tell them how to put it right. So I could say, right, that bit isn't right. I couldn't give them any more advice about how to put it right, because I didn't know. But the teachers did, and that's what they're there for. That I told them to focus on what they're good at and show improvement, but also still work on what they needed to. But I would have done the same if one of my children had gone up to their sibling and said, "You're a bit dumb, aren't you?" I would have picked out, something to tell them. And I don't know who said the quote, and I'm not going to get it right because I've not got it in front of me, but you can't judge a goldfish by its ability to climb a tree. Not along those lines. Because a cat may be able to climb a tree, but can a cat breathe underwater and hold its breath and swim really fast? No. So they've both got strengths and both got weaknesses, and you can't hold everyone to the same standard. But again, you can't be nasty to people. But yeah, she needed to be put in her place. I just wanted on there. I didn't realise she needed to be put in her place with her. And about a comment about her not being smart. Well, you've done what I would have done. Pulled her down a peg or two. And one thing I always say is, with regards to, I really don't like name calling. So when my kids go, I'm so stupid, I did this, and it's like, no, you're not stupid, but the action you have done was stupid, and you can rectify it. This situation, your son obviously isn't stupid, and your daughter isn't stupid. But in that moment in time, she was. That action was stupid, what she did. And I think, that's where there's a bit of a line there. It's not that, I would have phrased it different. I wouldn't have done well, you're not smart. I would have said, you don't know this subject. You're not the smartest at this subject. It's obviously she's got other attributes that she's good at. But yeah, she needs to know how she makes others feel, because ultimately, that's our job as parents. So, and you're God-fearing people, what is it? I can't remember the quote, but basically, treat others as you expect to be treated. And as I said, I'm not Christian, but, I believe that you should treat others as you expect to be treated. And if I treat someone like shit, I kind of expect I'm going to get shit back in return. Hey ho, that is life. Right, let's move on to the next one because I really did just go off on a tangent and ramble there, and I'm so sorry. If you put up with me, I'm so grateful. AITA for telling my brother about periods. I, 17 female, have a younger brother, 10 male, who I'll call Jack. My brother has always been a curious kid. He's always asking questions about everything, everyone and everything. Right, I had a pause there, but I'm back. So, the other day, I was packing tampons in my school bag as I'd just gotten my period a few days ago. And Jack had happened to walk into my room and see them. He asked what I was doing and what those things I was holding were. I didn't think that I did anything wrong by telling him the truth. Obviously, it wasn't super detailed, but basically I said that I have a cycle where I bleed every month, which is my body telling me I am not pregnant and that I need the tampons to help with the bleeding. My brother asked me if the bleeding hurt, and I told him no. I also told him that if he wanted to know more about them, then he should ask my mum when she gets back. In brackets, she's currently on a work trip. And to me, he seemed pretty content with that. He was a little worried about me, oh bless, but I reassured him that I was fine. I thought that was the end of it. But when I got home from school that day, my dad told me that it was in, commas, whatever, inappropriate and gross, quotation marks, of me to tell Jack about my period and that he was, again, in quotation marks, too young, and that, question marks, a boy doesn't need to be told about that stuff. Which I found strange because I didn't think my dad had a problem with talking about periods. I know for a fact that health class in Jack's grade is starting to introduce topics such as periods, and especially within the next few years, there will be more talk about them at his school. I have talked to my dad about my periods openly before, so has my mum, so I really didn't think he thought they were gross or anything. I don't know why he thinks it's a big deal to tell Jack about them, especially because there's no way to stop him learning at least a bit about them in the future. Personally, I actually feel men need to be more educated on periods. So, AITA, am I the arsehole? No, you are not the arsehole, my dear. So one thing I was always told is having crotch goblins. And granted, mine were all told around 11 years old. It was what was just appropriate, and they was going to learn about it at school at that age as well. So it sounds about the same age. Or if the volume changed, I was just moving around. Excuse me. I also had a fizzy drink. That wasn't a good idea. Right, so if he's going to ask you questions, he's going to ask his classmates questions. And there was a situation at school when I was growing up, and this is one reason I picked this, is I was 10 or 11. I didn't know what periods were. My twin sister did, because my mum had told her and explained it. No one had told or explained it to me, so I'm talking to a friend, and for me, I'm quite, if you haven't guessed already, everything's quite logical for me. The logical nature. I do have emotional feelings, but everything tends to be more logical. So for me, when my friend said, "Do you know what a period is?" I was like, well, it's the length of time. Or Americans use it, we call full stop, they call it period. That was my understanding of it. I wasn't wrong, but I was naive in what her question was about. And yes, this was all to make fun of my naivety around the subject, and I've got a feeling my twin sister had a hand in that. But again, that was many, many years ago. I still hold on to that memory because it made me feel absolutely stupid. So, if he's going to ask you questions, he's going to ask at school, and he might not get the right answer. He might get told everything. But to be told by a family member, it's a lot better than be told by a friend what they think. actually, if it's incorrect. For your dad to go off like that, that's just wrong. And for your brother to show that concern, that was really sweet of him. I'm guessing you do have quite a good relationship with your brother. I don't think 10's too young. I've heard stories of 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds being told purely because they've gone in a bathroom stall with their mum, their aunt, or an older female who has had to change a tampon or a sanitary towel. And, they've asked questions around it then. Granted, it's female, but I believe males should know as much. And I think, again, if males went through something like this and females didn't, it would be, the same. Females need to know to understand males. And there was a skit, whatever, I was watching earlier by a very fantastic comedian, who's also in the find him all over, he tours and everything. And there was one where, and some people might know what I'm on about if they've seen it. There's a woman comes in, she's 22 weeks pregnant, she's having abdominal pain, and her panicked boyfriend comes in with her, and he says, will she be okay because she ate spaghetti? And these are the exact words, and there was like, yeah, and this doctor's kind of like figuring out why wouldn't the baby be okay if the mum ate spaghetti. And he said, the spaghetti might strangle the baby, or, because it's long and thin. So, I do remember back at school, especially when you're young, babies grow in mummy's tummy, food goes in mummy's tummy. Obviously, this is a male who was able to reproduce with a female, and he still had that belief that babies grew in mum's tummy, and this nurse kind of did say, well, babies are in the uterus, food goes in other places, they don't actually mix. So I think it is important that boys, men, males assigned at birth do understand about periods, just to destigmatize that. I mean, because of my lack of knowledge, I believe that's why I think personally I don't like I think it's disgusting. But I know the people who celebrate it and say, it is part of being a woman or female assigned at birth. I've learned as I've got older, this is a process. And I've learned to be more open with my partner about it. And we've also had to be open about it in the household, because I did have to shut my boys down. Luckily I don't. I can't remember if I did when I was younger. I didn't think I do, but my female crotch goblins get very arsey just before. I mean, one of them, you could pinpoint the day. It was so obvious their mood change. Did a complete 180. It was hell. And their brothers had picked up on this. Everyone in the house had picked up on this, and it was calendar. And they used to take the mick out of their sister over this. And you know what I said? Be nice to her. Because trust me, I don't get like that. But I've got enough females in my family that did. They're already going through an emotionally hard enough time without you taking the piss and saying, oh, we know someone's coming on their period. It's good my boys were aware of those signs, but they wasn't using it for good. And I just told them, wouldn't you be pissed off if you're emotional you're hungry, you're bloated, you're in pain. I'm listing off. I don't suffer with all of these, but you know, I know women do. You can't control yourself. Your bowels are playing up. You may feel sick. Wouldn't you be a little bit irritated and pissed off if you've got to put up with that for a week? Because I can guarantee my boys would be in bed crying they was dying if they had to put up with it. So I have no idea why. I think I have no idea why your dad thought he was too young, because it's puberty after all, and puberty nowadays can start as young as 8 years old. And boys do need to know that stuff so they can support if they get a female partner or even a female friend. They can support them if need be. Just like if they went through it, they may want support. But good call on just doing the basics and passing it on to your mum. Your mum might want to go into more detail. Or again, just keep it at the basics. But no, you're not the arsehole. Your dad kind of needs a bit of a reality check, to be honest. But yeah, men do need to be more educated about it. Just like we need to be educated about what happens with a man's body. There may be times we don't understand it. I mean, I know a lot of females, and I'm going off on one at the moment. Today's a bit of going off. Is erectile dysfunction in men. A lot of women think it is just because they don't find them attractive. They are not sexually charged. Could be one way of putting it. But they can't get it up because the female's doing something wrong. Oh no, the man, just like when your period can be late, stress can cause erectile dysfunction. Medication can cause it. I'm trying to think of other things. There could be a psychological issue that's causing it unrelated to stress. There could be a physiological issue. They could have had an injury. So it's worth us understanding men as much as men understanding women. Right. I promised we've got two more. Do you know what? I'm going to skip that one. And I'm going to go on to the last one, because the last one's a long one. I may have opinions. And yeah, I really am just going off on one. You can tell I've not spoken properly for a week. So, AITA, am I the arsehole, for offering my friend $300 to $500 per week to motivate them to exercise. A friend of mine lost her job recently. It's put quite a bit of debt and other financial struggles. I've noticed their behaviours to be slipping towards depression and poor health choices. Fortunately, that's what happens. As a person who values physical fitness, I've tried subtly communicating that since they have the extra time right now, they should invest in exercise, as it will lift their spirits as opposed to mindlessly scrolling TikTok. However, nothing has changed. At some point, my friend asked me for money as a gift or loan due to their situation, and I refused, as I've lent them $3,000 a year ago that was not repaid, even though my friend had opportunities to make payments or communicate to work out a repayment plan. I made them a deal explaining that I would like to see them take action to improve their mood, and offered to pay them $300 to $500 per week if they work out 3 to 7 days per week. Edit, this would be paid in cash to them, not as dollar amounts applied to the $3,000 they owe me. I've basically written off the $3,000 and don't expect to see it again. That's very good of you. Now, my friend is not fat at all. In average physical shape, think former cross-country runner. However, when she told her friend about my offer, they agreed with her I was being controlling and just subtly calling her fat. I can see that. AITA even offering something like this. I thought it was a generous way to lead my friend into better overall health, and did not realise it could be offensive to pay someone to work out. Edit. Since there is some confusion based on the comments, I'd like to emphasise that the $300 to $500 would be additional cash sent to them without obligation of repayment, not as amounts applied to the $3,000 debt. Yeah, seen that. Edit 2. The workout for the agreement was defined to be 300 active calories on her Apple Watch during the day. I based this off my own workouts where I usually average 400 to 500 in 60 minutes. Okay, so I can see where you're the arsehole in this. Also see where you're not the arsehole and where it's coming from. It is proven that doing moderate exercise does relieve depression, and it would give her something to do. Unfortunately, when people do slip towards depression, they do make poor health choices. It is really hard, and she does have that financial situation. Now, it does seem controlling. Work-wise, very much does. Maybe do something to what I did with a friend many years ago. A few years ago, my friend needed a gym buddy. I love going to the gym. My friend paid for my gym membership to go to the gym with her to help motivate her, because she needed that. It was great. I got to go to the gym, got to go swimming, got to do other bits. I got to hang out with my friend. We got to do stuff. I was very happy with that. So, I can see your friend's point of view with you being controlling and seem like you're calling your friend fat, when in fact yours is, no, I just don't want her to get into a depression and she needs some money. I don't want to give her the money, which I agree. I don't agree with just giving people money. I believe there should be some, unless you're friends and family, there should be some like transactional things, especially if you're going to need money over a long time. It's a one-off. There doesn't need to be. It's going to be regular. There needs to be something for it. So maybe do what I did with a friend and just do I'd be paying a personal trainer X amount, come and do what I do with me, and I'll give you the money as well, because I just need some motivation. Pardon me, or I just would like someone with me. Your friend gets exercise, she gets, the money that you're giving her, because you've just said this isn't a loan, this is something you're prepared to give her a week, and it's almost, like she's got, that cash in hand. I don't know if you use that term in America. That cash in hand job that she can hide and doesn't really need to declare, and it would help her. So it's a really hard one, because I know your heart's in the right place. I can see where your friends are coming from, as well. You're just trying to think, well, she was healthy, and you don't want her to lose that. I mean, I'm devastated. I lost my ability to do that. Mine first lost when I had nerve blockers put in my side for an issue, and I was told within 6 weeks I'd be back doing sit-ups and everything, and I wasn't. And then one of my other illnesses flared up. I just got into a nasty cycle, and now obviously I've been diagnosed with another chronic illness, which meant I'm in a wheelchair, but I am trying, apart from spraining my hand and doing my back in. I try too much too soon. I do know how much physical exercise can help lift your mood. And I think you just need to have less parameters. I know obviously you've got the 300 active calories on an Apple Watch during the day. maybe just have her as a gym buddy and just say, you know, look, I'll pay a fee to come and do this for me. I need somebody to motivate me. So I can't say whether you are the arsehole or not on that one, unfortunately, because it is very much a grey area and there's other things that you could do. So I've taken up nearly an hour of your time. So thank you so much for listening to me drone on. My first one back after a week off. I will be getting more stories for Sleep 2 sorted out again because I've been on medication. I've been a bit of a liability when I open my mouth. I've not wanted to risk that. Plus, I've been asleep a lot because of the medication. So we really do appreciate you all. We're going to have a little bit of more of a shift around with Dead Chatty. It's basically to align more with what we feel it should be. We always set out for this to be a passion project, to change, to morph, to grow with what we wanted. We never set it out as a defined being. So some things will be disappearing and some things will be coming back or getting added. Morgana's got some brilliant stuff lined up. And we need to all tell Morgana, your voice does not sound bad on the recording. You listen to mine. Morgana's got a very silky, smooth, sexy voice, but she does not believe me. We need to tell her. We need to get her back on more podcasts. Although if she listens to this, she'll be going bright red. So don't forget to follow us on all of our Dead Chatty social media. As always, in the description, you will see our Linktree link where you can find everything. We don't post a lot on Twitter, or X as it's now called, or Threads. We mainly post on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. You can also find our content on YouTube. So that is this for this week, my Gothletts. Thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.